Okay, I am holding a definitive text of the International Criminal Court. And what was clear, Madam, is that whoever spoke last week was not adverting to Article 12, Sub 2B, which gives a second basis for jurisdiction, which is the state of which the person accused of the crime is a national. To say something else, I was shocked. I was shocked by two things. One, the Bangkok Post should know, whatever anyone's office is, nobody can judge an application before they read it, unless you're in Thailand, where there is no justice. And I want to say something else. I want to say something else to the Bangkok Post. Is the lady from the Bangkok Post there?
バンコクポストの記者さんいらっしゃいますか？一つ言いたいんですが。
In no country in the world, would journalists celebrate a judge saying there was no jurisdiction when 90 of their citizens lay in pools of blood without an investigation. We will find a court and we will bring justice to the people of Thailand. And I would like to tell the Bangkok Post that Abhisit murdered nationals of other countries, including Japan, including Italy, severely wounding nationals of Canada, and those governments, unlike Thailand, actually want the truth. We have a plan A to Z in terms of taking Mr. Abhisit to court. And we intend to continue to obtain evidence.
で、これからも証拠を集めるための努力を継続します。
I think it is fair to say that the ICC is a very difficult court.
ICC というのは非常に難しい裁判所であるということは、これは認めざるを得ないと思います。
But we have the ability in obtaining more and more evidence to present our case and represent our case, because our position is there weren't only 80 victims of murder and 2,000 victims of inhumane treatment. Our position is there are 67 million victims of this government in Thailand.
受けているということなのです。
I have known tin pot dictators in South America who had the integrity to resign after they murdered their own citizens. Abhisit once said the prime minister should resign if one citizen was murdered. This man could drown in the blood that's on his hands, and he hasn't yet resigned and done the honest thing. Number one, this is not our only ground. We have another ground cited in the application. And number two, under the British Citizenship Act of 1948, I believe it's Article 4, he has British citizenship. It will be up to Abhisit to show the prosecutor he has renounced. And we're going to make sure that we all see that renunciation, because you can't renounce after you've murdered 90 and wounded 2,000. So it's going to depend on when he renounced and many other technical issues in terms of his citizenship. My question that I find interesting is, do we all understand what we're saying? We all know, essentially, that he's a criminal. What you're asking me is, can we get him? And that will take years in whatever court. What I'm asking the Thai people is, why wait? Why allow this man to continue? How do Thai institutions allow a man who has breached international law so grievously, using snipers, taking out people that are completely unarmed? In what other country would he still be governing the country? That's the question. Thai people have to go home and ask themselves, how are they allowing a man like this to run their country, who has just been in Davos telling the Egyptians to be careful about how they treat their demonstrators. And let me give you an example, because what we've done, unlike the Thai government, is we've been incredibly specific. And in our document, we cite the present trial of the red shirts, where contrary to the most fundamental laws of human rights, they have not even been allowed into the courtroom. That's not even going into their treatment. They are not even allowed into their own courtroom. It is an obscenity. And what we have to do on behalf of the red shirts through this process is educate the world that Thailand may have a million smiles, but it has as many dedicated to the deprivation of human rights. And this is a very tragic lesson that has to be told. And we will tell it again and again until democracy is restored to Thailand.